invisible forces are constantly at work around us, forces that can either lift us to greatness or hold us captive in cycles of struggle and defeat. Among these unseen influences are what many call monitoring spirits, entities that track your moves, your thoughts, and your plans, waiting for the perfect moment to sabotage your success. What if the key to breaking free from their watchful eyes isn't through complex rituals or spiritual battles, but through something far simpler, something you can do right now, starting today? Imagine having a secret weapon, a single action that shuts down their surveillance and cuts off their power over your life. This is not just theory or superstition. It's deeply rooted in spiritual truths, illustrated by ancient stories that reveal how the greatest warriors, prophets, and leaders were defeated or victorious depending on one crucial factor: what they chose to reveal or keep hidden. You're about to discover how the words you speak and the secrets you share can become portals through which monitoring spirits gain access to your life. Too often people unknowingly give these spirits permission to interfere by speaking freely about their goals, their breakthroughs, even their smallest plans. But what if you could guard your life simply by guarding your words? Stay with me as we unravel the profound spiritual wisdom behind this one transformative practice, a practice that has the power to protect your destiny, shield your progress, and silence the very spirits that have been watching your every move. Understanding this could change the course of your life forever. Are you ready to take back control? 1. Understanding monitoring spirits and familiar spirits, their nature and differences. In spiritual discussions, particularly within certain Christian and prophetic contexts, two types of malevolent spirits are often mentioned: monitoring spirits and familiar spirits. Understanding their nature and how they differ is crucial for anyone seeking to protect themselves spiritually and maintain control over their life's direction. What are monitoring spirits? Monitoring spirits are entities assigned or attracted to observe and track a person's activities, intentions, thoughts, and plans. Their primary function is surveillance, gathering information about you so they can interfere strategically. They do not possess omniscience. Rather, they rely entirely on the knowledge they acquire through observation, eavesdropping, or information leaked by people around you. Monitoring spirits are not supernatural, all-knowing forces. Instead, they operate within the limits of what is shared or revealed. For example, if you openly discuss your dreams, goals, or strategies with certain people, you may inadvertently give monitoring spirits the intelligence they need to sabotage your efforts. These spirits thrive on secrets and vulnerabilities caused through careless speech or trusted relationships. Their goal is to disrupt your progress by causing confusion, setbacks, or opposition at critical moments. Often the people closest to you, friends, family, or acquaintances, unknowingly act as portals for these spirits, transmitting your plans to spiritual forces working against you. What are familiar spirits? Familiar spirits are different in nature and far more dangerous than monitoring spirits. These are spirits that have a close, often long-standing relationship with a person or family line. They are known to have deep knowledge about the individual or household they are attached to, beyond what can be gained from simple observation. Familiar spirits are often associated with occult practices, witchcraft, or ancestral curses. They can manipulate, deceive, and influence a person's thoughts and actions in profound ways because of their intimate connection and familiarity. Unlike monitoring spirits, familiar spirits do not depend on what is openly shared. They already possess hidden knowledge and access to inner secrets. They are considered insiders in a spiritual sense, sometimes masquerading as guides or helpers, but their true intent is to control, mislead, and bring destruction. The bond between a familiar spirit and its human target is often strong and difficult to break without spiritual intervention. Key differences between monitoring spirits and familiar spirits. Source of knowledge. Monitoring spirits operate based on externally obtained information, what you say or what others share about you. Familiar spirits, however, have inherent or established knowledge and intimate access without needing to gather intelligence externally. Level of danger. Monitoring spirits can only act within the limits of what they know, making them somewhat easier to guard against by controlling what you share. Familiar spirits are far more dangerous due to their deep connection, and can cause harm even if you are careful with your words. Mode of influence. Monitoring spirits cause disruption primarily through sabotage and interference, triggered by leaked information. Familiar spirits influenced by deception, manipulation, and long-term spiritual bonding. Spiritual relationship. Familiar spirits often maintain a long-term presence and can be generational, linked to family lines. Monitoring spirits are usually temporary agents assigned to watch and report. Why understanding this matters? Knowing these differences empowers you to take practical and spiritual steps to protect yourself. With monitoring spirits, guarding your speech, avoiding oversharing, and being cautious about who you trust can cut off their intelligence source. With familiar spirits, Deeper spiritual cleansing, deliverance, or breaking generational curses may be necessary. This knowledge forms the foundation for effective spiritual defense and highlights why simple secrecy can be a powerful weapon against monitoring spirits, while familiar spirits demand a more comprehensive spiritual approach. 2. How monitoring spirits operate based on shared information. Monitoring spirits are spiritual entities that do not possess omniscience. They cannot see your thoughts or intentions directly. Instead, their ability to interfere in your life depends entirely on the information they receive. This means their power to act against you is limited to what you or those around you reveal about your life, plans, emotions, and secrets. In practical terms, monitoring spirits operate like a surveillance system that depends on leaks. Every time you share your goals, ambitions, personal struggles, or breakthroughs with others, you risk creating a channel through which these spirits gain knowledge about your life. This knowledge acts as a blueprint, guiding their efforts to disrupt, delay, or destroy your progress. Unlike God, who is all-knowing and omnipresent, monitoring spirits rely on external sources of information. They cannot read your mind or predict your actions independently. They are reactive, responding only after they are informed. This key distinction is vital because it puts you in a position of power. By controlling what you share and with whom you share it, you control what monitoring spirits know and therefore limit their ability to operate against you. Biblical examples vividly illustrate this principle. The story of Samson shows how his strength remained invincible, as long as his secret was protected. Once he revealed the source of his power, his uncut hair, to Delilah, a human portal connected to monitoring spirits, his enemies were able to act and defeat him. This demonstrates that information shared carelessly can be exploited by spiritual forces to bring harm. Similarly, in the New Testament, Satan only began to tempt Jesus after public confirmation of his divine identity at his baptism. Before that, Satan did not act because he lacked critical knowledge. The moment this information was revealed, monitoring spirits seized the opportunity to test and challenge Jesus. In everyday life, the same dynamic plays out constantly. Sharing your dreams, intentions, or plans with friends, family, or colleagues who do not have your best interests at heart may unintentionally provide monitoring spirits with the intelligence they need to hinder your success. These individuals act as portals or carriers, whether knowingly or unknowingly, passing on your information to negative spiritual influences. The destructive work of monitoring spirits often manifests as unexpected setbacks, sudden conflicts, loss of motivation, or obstacles that seem to appear out of nowhere. These disruptions follow the pattern of information flow. The more details you share prematurely or with the wrong people, the more ammunition monitoring spirits gain to intervene in your life. Therefore, the practical and spiritual wisdom is to exercise discretion. Keep your plans, breakthroughs, and personal progress guarded. Speak only when necessary and to trusted individuals who genuinely support your growth. By doing so, you reduce the channels through which monitoring spirits can gather information. In summary, monitoring spirits operate strictly based on the information you allow to leave your lips, or the secrets you disclose to others. They do not have independent insight into your life. They depend on what you or your environment reveal. Controlling your communication is the most effective way to prevent these spirits from gaining access and disrupting your path. Guard your words, and you guard your destiny. 3. Biblical examples illustrating monitoring spirits. The Bible offers profound insights into spiritual dynamics, including how unseen forces operate to influence human lives. Two powerful biblical narratives vividly illustrate the impact of monitoring: the story of Samson and the temptation of Jesus Christ. These examples reveal how knowledge of a person's secrets or identity empowers spiritual adversaries to act against them. The story of Samson and the power of secrets. Samson, one of the most famous judges of Israel, was destined to deliver the Israelites from the Philistines' oppression. His supernatural strength was a divine gift, tied directly to a secret: the uncut hair of his Nazirite vow. The Philistines could not defeat Samson as long as they were ignorant of this secret. However, their monitoring spirit found a conduit through Delilah, Samson's companion, who persistently sought to uncover the source of his strength. This story is a vivid example of how a monitoring spirit functions. It cannot read minds or know everything independently, but it acts on the information provided by humans. Samson's downfall came when he revealed his secret to Delilah, giving the monitoring spirit precise knowledge it needed to orchestrate his capture. Once the secret was known, the Philistines acted, cutting his hair and stripping him of his strength. leading to his defeat. This narrative highlights the spiritual principle that sharing personal and strategic information can empower negative forces. Monitoring spirits rely heavily on what is revealed, which is why discretion and guarding one's words become critical defenses against spiritual sabotage. The temptation of Jesus and the use of known identity. Another clear example appears in the New Testament during Jesus' temptation in the wilderness. Prior to this, at his baptism, a divine voice declared Jesus as my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Matthew. This public confirmation revealed Jesus' divine identity, which Satan then used to tailor his temptations. In Matthew 4, Satan approaches Jesus and tempts him by saying, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread." Notice the wording. Satan does not deny who Jesus is, but uses this known information to challenge him. This illustrates how the adversary operates based on what is known. His attacks were personalized and strategic because he had access to this revealed truth. This example reinforces the principle that spiritual adversaries do not have omniscient knowledge. Their power depends on what is disclosed or revealed. The more they know, the more precisely they can attempt to derail God's plan. Lessons from the biblical examples. Both stories teach a critical lesson about the nature and limits of monitoring spirits. They are limited by the information they receive. Their influence is often indirect, moving through people who act as portals or conduits by sharing secrets, plans, or personal vulnerability. Samson's story warns against indiscriminate sharing of sensitive information with others, as this may unwittingly arm monitoring spirits to disrupt destiny. Jesus' temptation reveals that once a spiritual adversary knows a truth about you, they will use that knowledge to test, tempt, or try to manipulate your path. These biblical cases emphasize the spiritual importance of vigilance over what we share, whether our strengths, weaknesses, goals, or plans. Guarding your words and keeping key matters confidential limits the adversary's knowledge, and therefore their ability to afflict or hinder you. Conclusion. The Bible's examples of Samson and Jesus vividly demonstrate the principle that monitoring spirits act through knowledge gained, not through omniscient power. Understanding these stories equips believers with the wisdom to protect their spiritual progress by managing what they reveal. This practical spiritual insight remains vital today, a reminder that your words have power not only in the natural realm, but also in the spiritual battle. 4. The danger of sharing dreams, goals, and plans with others. Sharing your dreams, goals, and plans is often seen as a positive act, a way to build support, gain encouragement, and create accountability. However, when it comes to protecting your personal progress and spiritual well-being, being too open about your ambitions can pose serious risks. The danger lies not just in the possibility of betrayal or negative judgment from others, but in the unseen spiritual consequences that come with exposing your intentions too soon or to the wrong people. People as portals to monitoring spirits. One of the greatest dangers of openly sharing your goals is that some people around you act as portals for monitoring spirits, spiritual entities that track and interfere with your progress. These spirits do not operate blindly. They rely on information you disclose to gain insight into your plans and dreams. When you speak freely about your ambitions, you inadvertently provide these spirits with the knowledge they need to sabotage your efforts. This concept extends beyond strangers or casual acquaintances. Unfortunately, even those closest to you, family members, friends, or colleagues, can unknowingly become carriers of these harmful spiritual forces. Sharing sensitive information with those who harbor jealousy, resentment, or ill intent invites negative energy into your life, leading to unexpected setbacks and failures. Premature disclosure invites interference. Talking about your goals before they are fully realized can cause the manifestation of those goals to be blocked. When you reveal your plans prematurely, it allows negative forces, both human and spiritual, to act against you. This interference can manifest as obstacles, delays, or outright failures that seem inexplicable at first. The biblical example of Samson illustrates this clearly. His strength was invincible as long as his secret remained hidden. The moment he disclosed it to Delilah, his power was stripped away. Similarly, sharing your plans can open doors for those who want to see you fail to influence your journey negatively. Emotional vulnerability and energy drain. Sharing your dreams widely can also lead to emotional vulnerability. Every time you verbalize your ambitions, you release mental and emotional energy into the world. If your audience is not supportive, this energy can be drained, leaving you less motivated and more susceptible to doubt and discouragement. Negative or skeptical reactions from others may chip away at your confidence, weakening your resolve. Loss of strategic advantage. From a practical standpoint, Revealing your goals and strategies too early can cause you to lose your competitive edge. Whether in business, career, or personal development, maintaining confidence about your next steps allows you to work undisturbed and launch your initiatives at the right moment. When your plans become public knowledge, you risk others copying or sabotaging your ideas before you can execute them effectively. Wisdom and discretion. The wisdom lies in discerning when and with whom to share your dreams. It's not about secrecy or isolation, but about strategic discretion. Share your goals only with trusted allies who genuinely support your growth and have your best interests at heart. Even then, balance sharing with action. Let your progress speak louder than your words. In spiritual terms, this discretion protects you from giving monitoring spirits the information they need to harm you. In practical terms, it preserves your energy, maintains your motivation, and keeps your plans safe from sabotage. 5. The importance of discretion and wisdom in communication. Communication is one of the most powerful tools we possess. It shapes our relationships, influences our opportunities, and determines the flow of information in our personal and professional lives. However, communication is a double-edged sword. When used without discretion and wisdom, it can unintentionally invite harm, sabotage, or loss. In the spiritual context, especially regarding monitoring spirits, the importance of exercising discretion in what we share cannot be overstated. This principle has practical applications in everyday life as well, making it essential to master the art of wise communication. Why discretion matters. Discretion means carefully choosing what, when, and with whom to share information. It is about understanding that not every thought, plan, or achievement needs to be broadcasted. In a world filled with distractions, gossip, and hidden agendas, being discreet protects your goals and preserves your energy. When you openly share your aspirations and successes, you expose yourself to negative influences, whether those are people who wish you harm, competitors, or spiritual forces, such as monitoring spirits that feed on this knowledge to cause disruption. Monitoring spirits operate based on the information they receive. When you reveal your plans prematurely, you effectively hand over your secret weapon to forces that can block your progress. The story of Samson in the Bible highlights this. His downfall came only after he disclosed the source of his strength. Similarly, in real life, many experience setbacks after being too open about their intention. Wisdom in communication. Knowing what to share. Wisdom in communication goes beyond mere silence. It involves strategic sharing. You don't need to shut down entirely, but learn to filter your words carefully. Ask yourself, is this information necessary for others to know right now? Will sharing this bring me closer to my goals, or put me at risk? Do I trust the person I'm sharing this with? Answers to these questions help determine the appropriateness of disclosure. Sharing your dreams and plans with the right people, trusted mentors, supportive friends, or like-minded partners, can be empowering. They can offer encouragement, accountability, and valuable feedback. However, indiscriminate sharing invites jealousy, criticism, or negative interference. The impact of unwise communication. When discretion is ignored, the consequences can be severe. Sabotage and betrayal. Loose talk can lead to information reaching those who want to see you fail. In workplaces, for example, confidential plans leaked to competitors cause missed opportunities. Emotional drain. Sharing too much can attract negativity and unwanted opinions, leaving you emotionally exhausted and doubting your path. Spiritual vulnerability. From a spiritual perspective, oversharing activates monitoring spirits who use that information to create obstacles, delays, or confusion. Building the habit of wise communication. Developing discretion is a skill that requires practice and self-awareness. Pause before speaking. Take a moment to consider the impact of your words. Set boundaries. Define what topics are private and non-negotiable. Trust your intuition. If sharing feels risky or uncomfortable, it probably is. Cultivate a trusted circle. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and uplift your goals. Conclusion. Discretion and wisdom in communication are not just about silence, but about intentional, thoughtful sharing. They protect your energy, your progress, and your destiny from external and spiritual interference. By guarding your words, you reduce vulnerabilities and increase your chances of success. In a world filled with distractions and hidden agendas, mastering this art is a powerful step towards safeguarding your life and fulfilling your purpose. 6. Destiny helpers versus destiny destroyers. Spiritual opposition. In every person's spiritual journey, there is an unseen battlefield where two opposing forces work tirelessly, one to elevate and assist, the other to obstruct and destroy. These forces are often referred to as destiny helpers and destiny destroyers. Understanding their nature and influence is crucial for navigating life's challenges with awareness and spiritual wisdom. Destiny helpers are divine agents, often sent by God or the universe, who assist you in fulfilling your purpose and achieving your destiny. They appear in various forms: people, opportunities, inner inspirations, timely encounters, or even miracles that open doors and break chains. Their role is to guide, protect, and empower you as you pursue your goals. Destiny helpers encourage growth, provide clarity, and reinforce your spiritual strength, helping you overcome obstacles that are natural in any meaningful journey. On the opposite side stand the destiny destroyers, spiritual adversaries intentionally positioned to hinder your progress and prevent you from reaching your full potential. These destroyers operate through various means, including negative people, harmful environments, and most dangerously, monitoring spirits. They feed on the information they gather about your plans, weaknesses, and breakthroughs to strategically sabotage your path. Destiny destroyers sow confusion, fear, delay, and failure, often working subtly so their influence goes unnoticed until the damage has been done. A fundamental aspect of this spiritual opposition is that destiny helpers and destroyers both operate based on knowledge. Destiny helpers respond to your faith, prayers, righteous actions, and perseverance. Destiny destroyers, however, act upon the secrets and vulnerabilities you reveal, especially when you share your plans, dreams, and strategies prematurely. When you speak freely about your goals to the wrong people, you unwittingly create portals that allow monitoring spirits to intercept your destiny. Biblical and spiritual traditions emphasize this battle vividly. For example, the story of Samson shows how his strength and thus his destiny was protected as long as his secret remained safe. Once revealed, destiny destroyers gained the upper hand. Similarly, Jesus was not confronted by Satan until his identity as the Son of God was revealed at baptism, after which spiritual opposition intensified. The key takeaway is spiritual discernment and guardedness. Knowing that you have destiny helpers should encourage you to nurture your faith, maintain positive spiritual practices, and seek divine guidance. At the same time, awareness of destiny destroyers teaches the importance of discretion, being cautious about who you trust and what you reveal. This guardedness is not about fear but about wisdom, protecting your spiritual journey from interference. Another important point is the recognition that destiny helpers may come disguised as ordinary people or even challenges. They test your resolve, shape your character, and prepare you for the breakthroughs ahead. Destiny destroyers, however, manifest through consistent patterns of disruption and negative influence that seek to derail your progress permanently. Ultimately, the battle between destiny helpers and destroyers is ongoing, but victory belongs to those who stay vigilant. By guarding your words, protecting your secrets, and aligning with divine guidance, you invite more destiny helpers into your life and weaken the power of destiny destroyers. This spiritual opposition is not a cause for despair but a call to empowerment. Understanding it arms you with the knowledge to consciously shape your future rather than be shaped by unseen forces. 7. Final spiritual guidance. Guard your words to protect your life. Words carry power beyond what most realize. In spiritual terms, your words are not merely sounds or expressions. They are gateways that can either protect or expose your life to unseen forces. The final and most crucial spiritual guidance to stop monitoring spirits from monitoring you is simple yet profound. Guard your words to protect your life. Monitoring spirits operate based on information they receive. They cannot read your mind, but they listen closely to what you say. Your plans, your dreams, your victories. Every word you share about your goals or intentions acts as a portal, opening a pathway for these spirits to act against you. When you speak openly and indiscriminately, you unknowingly grant these spirits the intelligence they need to sabotage your progress. This spiritual truth is underscored by biblical examples, such as the story of Samson. His downfall was not because of a lack of strength, but because he revealed his secret to Delilah. Once his secret was out, his enemies gained the upper hand. Similarly, Jesus faced temptations only after his divine identity was publicly revealed. This shows that words carry strategic weight in spiritual warfare. To guard your words means to cultivate wisdom and discretion in what you say, especially about your personal ambitions and breakthroughs. It is not about fear or secrecy, but about prudent stewardship of your spiritual protection. Be mindful of whom you share your plans with, because not everyone around you wants to see you succeed. Some may unknowingly harbor monitoring spirits, while others may be positioned by negative forces as destiny destroyers. Practical ways to guard your words include speaking positively but cautiously, avoiding premature declarations of success, and keeping sacred your most important goals until they are fulfilled or at a secure state. This discipline prevents the enemy from gaining footholds through gossip, envy, or betrayal. Moreover, guarding your words encourages you to develop inner strength and confidence that is not dependent on external validation. It teaches patience, focus, and the spiritual maturity to let your actions speak louder than words. In conclusion, watch your mouth to protect your life. Words can be your strongest shield or your greatest vulnerability. By guarding what you say, you deny monitoring spirits the information they need to afflict you. This simple but powerful spiritual practice is a cornerstone for safeguarding your destiny and ensuring your progress remains unthreatened. Guard your words and watch how your life transforms with divine protection and breakthrough. Understanding the unseen spiritual dynamics that affect our lives is not just fascinating, it is essential for anyone seeking true freedom, success. Throughout this discussion, one clear and powerful truth has emerged. The key to stopping monitoring spirits from monitoring you lies in guarding your words. This isn't merely advice, it is a spiritual strategy grounded in ancient wisdom and proven by biblical example. Monitoring spirits cannot invade your life without the information you provide. They rely entirely on what you reveal, your dreams, plans, and secrets. When you carelessly share these things, you unwittingly hand over the keys to your destiny's destruction. But when you practice discretion, wisdom, and self-control in your speech, you effectively shut down their ability to interfere. This teaching calls us to a higher level of spiritual awareness, a discipline of the tongue that is often overlooked but holds immense power. It reminds us that words are not just communication tools, they are spiritual weapons and shields. By guarding your words, you protect your life from harm and create a space where your goals and dreams can flourish without interference. It's important to remember that guarding your words does not mean living in fear or secrecy. Instead, it is about embracing spiritual wisdom that honors your journey and respects the sacredness of your purpose. It empowers you to be intentional about what you share and with whom, ensuring your progress remains protected. As you move forward, commit to this one transformative practice. Watch what you say. Speak life, but speak wisely. Protect your dreams by keeping them close until the right time. When you do this, you cut off monitoring spirits at their source and reclaim control over your destiny. Your words can be the key to freedom, breakthrough, and victory. Guard them well, and watch how your life changes. The power to protect yourself is already within you. Use it wisely.